Great way to illustrate the program and the importance of the program for those patients that we're here to serve. It is now a real pleasure for me and an honor for me to introduce somebody and who will introduce a panel that will be talking about this program. But this is a person that really nobody that doesn't need an introduction here, but that's Pierce Simpson. And Pierce, you know, just a little reminder, he is from Texas. He graduated from the University of North Texas. He drifted out to California. He finally came back, which is good. But he's been involved with a number of organization, Complex, Boardroom, and now Wave Sports. Has done interviews of sports celebrities, you know, all over the world. And I went in and actually looked at some of the interviews. Now, I had looked at them before, but I went and looked, and boy, you do a great job, I tell you. And it is so important for you to be a part of this, and you're certainly a collaborator in this program. So let's give a big welcome to Pierce.
How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me clearly? Just testing out the mic. I love how Bob said it. I drifted out to California. That's just like a Texan. I love it, but I'm excited to have a conversation here today. I also want to thank the tech team and everybody who put this event together. Can we give them a round of applause, please? As well? So I'm excited today to take you behind the scenes of the first streetwear collaboration in the history of prosthetics. So I'm going to introduce our panelists here today. First up, I have McKay Hendershot, Senior Director of Communications for Scottish Rite. Next up, we have Dwight Putnam, Prosthetics Specialist. We have founder and designer of By Way of Dallas, Hans Taplin. And finally, marketing director of By Way of Dallas, Trey Green. Seeing the video and seeing everything that's going on into this process is such an incredible thing to, one, be a part of and to be here to celebrate in Dallas with such a momentous occasion. So McKay, I'll start with you first. Before we talk about how these two great organizations teamed up, let's start with some context. We're sitting here at Scottish Rite for Children. For those who aren't familiar, can you talk a little bit about your mission here today?
Yes, thanks, Pierce.
No problem.
It's so great to be here and so great to be surrounded by so many people that support the mission that we do. And so thank you all for being here in person and for joining us online. You know, we are sitting here because of our founders who had a mission and vision. And over 100 years ago, they made their mission to give children back their childhood. And today, we've helped over 350,000 patients realize their dream because of that mission. And so we are just really excited to continue that mission into the next 100 years by collaborating with this group and being here and launching this exciting event.
Love that. Hans, next question for you. You know, seeing in the video, you've done numerous collaborations with a variety of different big-time brands. Most recently, Dallas Cowboys. That was incredible. It's great to be here the week of 40-0 against the Giants. So, you know, that's a great thing. But Hans, when you designed for Nike and you launched By Way of Dallas, can you tell us what By Way of Dallas is all about?
Great question.
Oh, he came in ready. Hey, listen, I love it. Saw that closing speed? That was impressive.
Great question. I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out every day. I know what By Way of Dallas is, but we evolve and we continue to disrupt and we continue to diversify what we set out to do. I mean, this project is the most meaningful by far because it has so much more purpose than what, you know, is on the surface level for By Way of Dallas. So it's By Way of Dallas, to answer your question, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
It's just an opportunity for us to connect both sides of 75 and bring our community together and diversify. Our goal is to literally fill a room with the most diverse people ever. And like, Terry, look around, like this has actually happened again. So it's a hodgepodge of creative and projects and just cool stuff that we just try to do the best we can.
No, for sure. I love that it really unites people who are from Dallas and able to come back and bring that type of energy back to the city. That's such a beautiful thing. for Hans and McKay, this question is for you two both. It sounds like you've invested quite a bit into the Dallas community itself, but your paths had not crossed until now. Can you tell us about how the collaboration between Scottish Rite and By Way of Dallas began and what it's all about?
Well, for me, first off, the collaborators that we worked with in this community that are still here in Dallas, or some that aren't here in Dallas. In fact, a few of them are watching online right now. Like, that was so incredible to get their immediate yes, we want to be a part of something. Our strategy was to FaceTime and ask this question. They had no idea what this was about. I remember we FaceTimed you actually.
Several times.
You were the first. Yes.
Several times.
We blew you up.
Yeah.
And the creating art is not easy,
right.
And to do something that transcends the canvas on a completely different medium, I should say. It's just. I really appreciate everybody who was involved, because it's not easy. And what was your experience like? I'm gonna throw this question on you.
Yeah. Some of my favorite things is I knew you were locked in when I would get up the next morning and it'd be an email at like 3 a.m. and asking me for the updates. I'm like, oh, he's really locked in design-wise. But I think the biggest thing for me in this project was, as I enter this stage in my life, I want to do things that's outside of the scope of just serving myself. Right, I want to do things that are able to be blessings to others through the work that I provide. And I feel like By Way of Dallas was able to do that. And anytime that you, at least for me personally, when you move and change cities, you always want to bring that light back home in some way, shape, or form. And so this provided the perfect opportunity to do that. And anytime you can help kids, that's always a great thing. So I was down for it, for sure. Yeah. But it's tough when you got other collaborators who are like artists, like true artists, and their designs are incredible. And I'm like opening up Photoshop, and I'm like, well... We'll figure it out.
But it's about effort, It wasn't a contest. It's about effort. It's about taking time out for a purpose, and that's my favorite part. Are those designs that weren't totally polished, but that's beauty. That's art. It's great.
I appreciate it. McKay, how did you two cross paths?
I would just say that patient experiences are what are at the foundation of what Scottish Rite is. And I hear it all the time. Not only do we provide hope to our families, but we change lives. And so I think the conversation really started when we asked the question, how can we change the lives of our prosthetic patients and make them feel more inclusive? And so knowing that kids just want to be like their friends, and they want to see themselves on the playground. They want to see themselves being successful in school and in their communities, just like every other kid. And so an easy way to do that is through fashion. Fashion's a really visual way to, just make kids feel similar. And so I think, having that knowledge and having that in the back of our head, we, had this revelation, and we got to meet the one and only Hans Taplin, who eventually got us to the By Way of Dallas team. And, and then those initial conversations over lunch and lots of Zoom and virtual calls, just led us to imagine this much bigger than we ever thought it was going to be. It was going to start out to be the bottom of a sole of a prosthetic. And it turned out to be, let's get all of these collaborators involved and really put art and thought and let these kids pick something really amazing that made them feel included in the decision of the device, but also something they'd be proud to show off.
Absolutely, and like you said, the thing is being proud to show it off. And we all love that feeling of like getting sneakers that maybe no one has, or like that exclusivity, but this is exclusiveness on a whole nother level. And so it's such a great thing to see like these kids light up with joy getting these new designs.
And I think what it does is it allows us to change the conversation of inclusivity.
Yep.
And I think that's what also is really cool.
Absolutely. Hans, we saw in the video, you're not only a designer of this project, you also wanted to include designs from other Dallas collaborators within this. We talked a little bit briefly in the previous question about it, but can you let us know what the thought process went behind selecting certain individuals that are from Dallas?
Yeah, it was about diversity, and if I was the only person creating the art, I have a tunnel vision when it comes to creative sometimes, but I wanted to see a different perspective. And I really wanted others to feel, what the purpose of this project. Like if it's Tremaine Townsend's art, or if it was the Sour Grapes, or even Jeremiah and Dak's artwork. It's looking at that gallery and seeing so much different flavors and just ideas and just just stuff that we wanted to create this cool, not like a menu, but this cool opportunity for kids to just see different, ideas, and that was really, really fun.
With every project that you take on, do you kind of find yourself like at the end result, kind of it being bigger than what you initially anticipated?
Yeah, but he always pulls me back to earth because this was supposed to be. I think we're gonna go to California and do. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, absolutely. But this here has been well beyond what I think initially we were thinking, and just to see this live event, and to be a part of it, it's crazy. It's awesome.
For sure, we're gonna talk to Trey in a second. But when I tell you Trey gets things done logistically, he's gonna get things done logistically. So salute to you, sir. Next person, Dwight. Dwight, listen. You're a Renaissance man in a lot of different ways, brother. You might be the best dressed doctor in the United States.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
There we go. He toned down now, but he had a fit on yesterday. I was very impressive, and I still need to know where you got those frames from. But Dwight, I understand you're actually an artist and sculptor by trade. Can you give us a glimpse of the creativity it takes to make prosthetic devices and how patients will get to pick out these new designs?
It's kind of a trademark here at Scottish Rite to gear every patient experience or every experience to the patient. And a lot of times these families are given sort of poor prognoses when they visit other hospitals, but when they come to here, it's a whole other story because we're used to sort of the difficult challenges, and those difficult diagnoses are actually sort of a rallying call for our staff. We really understand what needs to be done. Everybody comes together. We're looking for new ways to innovate and constantly bring technology and the community together on a laser focus, pinpointed towards our kids. And like McKay said, that these kids are born with these differences, and a lot of times it can be a potentially anxiety-inducing situation. But by giving them control over the device itself, you really are sort of placating a lot of anxiety, and you're also including that child in the decision-making process and giving them back some power in that sense, and allowing them to kind of turn what could be a potentially anxious moment into an icebreaker when the kids are actually looking at these devices and saying, man, these are really cool. And so instead of saying, oh, that's a prosthesis, what happened to him? It's more about, what a great looking leg, how'd you get that? Yeah. And so by providing these kids an opportunity to be sort of on the forefront and have access to sort of the website with the portfolio of community artists that is made, and these are all designs that are geared specifically towards that patient body, and so nobody else is going to have access to that. And so I think it's sort of giving them an opportunity to level the playing field, like as far as the inclusivity is fashion and concerned, allows them to make the big choices.
For sure, and we talk often about this being the first of its kind. Do you feel like this project will really change the way we see prosthetics going forward?
I think it'll definitely allow a lot of opportunities and a lot of enlightenment for the people involved, definitely. And I think part of the joy of myself as being a sculptor and being an artist is being able to use those gifts on a day-to-day basis for the amazing outcomes that we get here. And so to see the kids walking around in legs that you've helped make, knowing that they're doing the amazing things is a pretty empowering, pretty transformative in my own life. And so by allowing the artists that are involved to sort of feel that and have a sense of, focusing their art on making somebody's life a little bit better, I think will be definitely transformative for them and for the kids as well, being able to sort of choose from those designs that are specifically selected towards the kids. And I was already able to talk to Timmy out there, and he got one of the graphics on the sockets out there, and he was immediately, he felt the power there. And so there's definitely some magic by allowing these people to experience even just a slice of what we're able to experience here at the hospital on a day-to-day basis.
Such a beautiful thing. Yeah, some of the designs out there on the table look
Can I take
incredible.
a second? And I just wanted, if you got my prosthetic technicians back there, I see them in the back. Go ahead and stand up for me.
Yeah.
Jacoby, you too. Yeah. So those guys are the backbone of our department. They're able to do some amazing work in some incredibly challenging times, and we'd definitely be lost without them. And so while I'm the person sitting here in front of you, I'm just one of 30 people in our department who are incredibly passionate about what we do. And we treat every patient differently. Every prosthesis is unique. Every prosthesis walks out the door with the flavor of the child. And so that's something that we can definitely be proud of and as a community. And so by you guys adding to that makes it a whole other tool in the toolbox. And so I definitely think that we'll be helping some kids out.
That's been one of my favorite things about you, Dwight, throughout this pre-production process. Anytime anybody mentions you in a singular aspect, you always say, no, I'm one of many. I'm one of a team. So I really got to give you your flowers on that one. This question is directed to Trey, because Hans touched on it a little bit, but I want to hear your perspective. You know, we talk about inclusion being a key part of the mission for this as well. Can you talk through how this collaboration came to life for your perspective, especially from the marketing side and like the vision side?
Yeah, it's been interesting because Taylor and I was talking about this earlier. You know, it goes back to 2019, you know, of us just coming together and trying to do something special, I think, for the hospital, but more importantly, the patients. I think from our kind of lens of being a streetwear brand or fashion brand, I think because our brand is labeled already exclusive, I think it was a super, you know, challenge for Hans and I to figure out how do we bring that same exclusivity to the patients. You know, I think our origin of the idea goes back to us, you know, you kind of saw it from the video. For Hans, it was in the 90s, you're a little older than me. But for myself,
I'm trying to figure out if that was a shot or not.
No shot. But for myself, you know, it just goes back to some of, you know, sneakers. Think about the sneakers app and, you know, trying to get something that is exclusive already. Yeah. You know, we wanted to provide that same experience, you know, for the patients and have something that was uniquely designed for them. And from a fashion standpoint, you know, that doesn't really happen. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people, you know, in this fashion world, you know, they kind of, you know, what we call fast fashion, right? A lot of these designs that these artists do or designers do, you know, they're so quick, you know what I mean? And of course, people love them because of whatever said brand it is. But I think from by way of Dallas lens, we truly take the time to figure out what is the challenge that we're trying to solve. Even as we think about our collaborations with the Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers, you know, some of them were design problems, some of them were community problems. Yeah. And so I think approaching, you know, this type of collaboration, you know, patients were the kind of the first thing for us as we think about that experience. But then I think the second thing was just trying to change, you know, this kind of fashion lens and, you know, not think about t-shirts, hoodies, or jackets, but actually thinking about something that's going to benefit and actually change lives. So, you know, I've been real fortunate to be a part of it from the beginning. Yeah. You know, and me and Taylor was talking about it earlier. You know, initial idea was like shoes or the sole. And, you know, Hans quickly was like, yeah, I don't know about that. You know? And so it was a real design challenge. And, you know, to see the outcome of it is something truly special. And I don't even think we'll be able to ever kind of understand the impact in which something like this will have. But I'm just fortunate to be a part of it.
Do you personally have a favorite moment that you always kind of think about during this project?
You know, honestly, transparently, I think, you know, we had a pause in the collaboration that I think was something that was truly special, you know, and I think working with McKay and team, we just wanted to make sure that we were answering all the right things as we were thinking about this collaboration. And of course, like the world has stopped in itself as well, but I think from a diversity standpoint, as we think about our collaborators, like they're super diverse. You think about some of the technicians and, you know, some of the people that's up there, you know, it's an intentional thing to be diverse as we think about this collaboration. So that was probably my favorite moment of just sitting down. We were eating over in Lower Greenville, and to be able to come together and kind of see this be amplified in this way was special.
Yeah. It seemed like 2 meals I done missed out on. Y'all was eating good when I was there. Hold on now. Hold on.
You live in LA, man. Yeah. That's what you get.
Right? Right. True that. Okay, we talked about the feeling that some of the collaborators and the patients get when it comes to this specific initiative. For the organizations and from your standpoint, what do you feel like you receive from this?
Yeah, I think that the impact is going to be just kind of trickle. Yep. You know, and it's going to, you know, I really think, when I think about this, I think about our Care Rite core values. And there's 2 values in particular that I think about: transforming and excellence. And I think this partnership will resonate with our staff and with our patients and those that walk through our doors, because we are transforming. We're transforming not only the way that we're designing, but we're also, as I mentioned earlier, transforming that conversation around inclusivity. We're collaborating, we're doing through, we're providing excellence to all patients. And of course, we're innovating. Being the first to do this and to collaborate with such an awesome group, it's really, I think, going to have that long-term impact for us.
I love that. Hans, how do you feel like it's impacting by way of Dallas?
I still haven't grasped the magnitude of this collaboration yet, and I'll get there. But I feel fortunate to be able to learn every day. You go through high school, college, and you're in the big, the real world, and it's like I never want to stop learning. I never want to stop figuring things out and working with people that I would never have imagined working with. So for me, and by way of Dallas, it's an opportunity to continue to keep that growth and continue to just be appreciative of waking up and being able to be creative every single day.
Yeah, for sure. As we get close to the end, each of you kind of in rapid fire, maybe 2 words or less. Yeah, okay, 5. A sentence. What excites you the most about this collaboration? Okay, we'll start with you.
Why did you have to start with me?
Trey, we'll start with you, brother. Go.
I think this impact more than anything.
Yeah.
I'll try to be brief and just quickly say that I think, this is the best collaboration that ever existed, for streetwear brand, for a hospital, and I think it ups the bar for anybody out there, that's trying to collaborate, and collaboration fatigue is a thing. So I think, doing something like this is monumental, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I love that. Sure, go Hans.
What was the question again?
What excites you the most about this collaboration? I feel like you might have just answered it.
It's just I will say it again, just having the opportunity to wake up and be creative every day. There's a lot of people who, it has nothing to do with, me designing, but to wake up and know that you have a purpose and you did something that's cool, and, it's nothing else matters to me.
I think it'll be definitely, like she said, transformative, at least on 3 different fronts. You've got the patients, you've got the artists, and you've got the practitioners. Patients are going to love, again, having something that's specialized towards them, allowing them to really sort of access the different artists. Yep. The artists are going to love being able to potentially walk through the community and at some point say, oh my God, there's a prosthesis with my art on it.
I love that.
And there really is no feeling like that when you're out in the community and you actually witness one of your patients out there doing that sort of, just day-to-day stuff. And like we always say, it's not the device that's amazing, it's always the kids. But the artists will be able to experience that, kids will be able to experience that. And as practitioners, we'll have at least one more awesome tool in our toolbox to help them really sort of trick out and personalize their prostheses.
I love that. I love that.
As I was kind of listening to everybody, every time I think of Scottish Rite for Children, I put myself in those kids' shoes. And to be able to walk in here and know that I'm part of every patient experience and everyone in this room and everyone online, and Hans and his team and by way of Dallas and all these collaborators are now part of that patient experience. I think that's what's so cool, and it ultimately is going to be tied back to our mission of giving children back their childhood.
I love that. I know you mentioned we have everyone watching online. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. For more information, you can go to srchildren.bywayofdallas.com. Soon after this, you can go to the reception area. I know y'all smelled that food, so I know y'all are thinking about that as well, so there'll be someone there. But, before we go, I do want to make sure that for McKay Hendershot, for Dwight Putnam, for Hans Taplin, for Trey Green, please give them a round of applause. And I also want to thank each of you for braving the elements and coming here and being able to it was raining. It seemed like y'all happy about the rain. I was hearing it was like triple digits. So, but appreciate you joining us for Fashion and Function. Again, you can hit to the reception area. I'm Pierce Simpson, and thank you for attending.